Hey everyone, I'm Allison and you're watching Long Island Thrifter. Today I'm taking you to Copiague to do some thrifting and then I'm going to show you some of the weird stuff that I've bought and sold over the years. So let's dive in.
I'm at the AMVETS in Copiague, and the first section I always look at is the artwork as soon as I walk in. And I noticed these botanical prints, which were really pretty, but then if you really take a good look at them, you can probably see it as well. They're $8.98 each, but they're bleached out. They've been sitting in the sun way too long, and so I left those behind. I do like botanical prints though. They can add to a room really nicely. Nothing else here really spoke to me, and especially that one. I did not like that painting. I don't know, there's something about it. So I went to the glassware area and I noticed these red, white, and blue star highball glasses. I don't know if they were Libby or not, but I thought they were very pretty, but they've been here for a couple weeks. No one has picked them up. I did find one that sold on eBay for $13, but I felt like these would be in my inventory for way too long. Then I noticed these down here. They are actually, you can feel the 3D of the gray and dark gray trees. These are mid-century, very pretty, $1.98 each. Surprising here. There were four of them, and I looked them up. I found a set of six selling for $60, and then a set of four that sold for 32. But you definitely can't put those in the dishwasher. I'm thankful and grateful I left them behind. And then over here in the China, I noticed these plates, which I really think are fun for the holidays. They are called Merry Masterpieces, and I've seen them before in the store. These were only 99 cents each, and there were a set of four. This is the Eiffel Tower, and then over here is the Sphinx or Sandy Claus. Cute, very cute. And that is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And finally, the last one is the Statue of David. Black tie optional. I thought that was cute as well. But apparently there's a lot of these out there and not something I was going to pick up because when I did look them up, I did see that the these two dinner plates sold for best offer off of $9, which I didn't think was very good. And then a set of four between $16 and $20. So really not worth my while picking those up and packing them up if someone were to buy them. Then over here, I noticed this really pretty pattern and I was more admiring it because I just liked it. And I couldn't find the maker because, of course, they put the sticker over that all the time. These are little fruit cups. It's actually Sango, fine china, and it's the gold rose pattern, which I thought was very pretty. And, but no one's really using this stuff anymore. It's just the way it is, really.
I was at the register behind a woman who bought a lot of that china and we started chatting and she mentioned that she was going to use it for her smash room. And I thought she meant like for making mosaics. And I said it out loud. Oh yeah, for mosaics. And she was like, huh? And I was like, huh? Anyway, it took me 24 hours to realize she meant like a rage room, a wreck room, as in, I'm going to wreck this, an anger room. So, yeah, that's what's happening to that china. It's getting smashed.
And speaking of smashed, there's a whole shelf and a half of precious moments that I would love to smash. I feel bad for so many people that spent so much money on that stuff because it just ends up in the thrift store. This is an old Victorian piece that looks like it's missing the other side. But I was over here actually admiring this beautiful drop leaf table. That I couldn't find a price on it, but look at that. It is gorgeous. I think someone must have refinished it and they did a beautiful job on it. It's lovely. Those legs are beautiful. It was in great condition. Then I went over to the teacups, which I find, look, someone tried to sell them for $10 this one at probably a yard sale. It's $2.48 here, but you really can't get rid of them.
No one's buying any of my teacups. I mean, I think once a year I sell a teacup and saucer. But I saw this great idea on Instagram on how to repurpose, reuse, upcycle, whatever you want to call it, a teacup and saucer. If you glue it down with like monster glue, gorilla glue, whatever, something strong, and a lot of it, and make sure that the handle is up, this becomes a bird feeder. Isn't that adorable? And then my niece Marley had a genius idea. She said, hang it by fishing line so they look like they're suspended in air. I've got to do this because Lord knows there's a lot of these teacups in the thrift stores.
Then over here, I noticed this nesting bowl set or nesting set of, I think these are Bobby Flay brand, Costa del Sol. They're each individually priced. So it's 7 pieces, the six in the inside and then the outer one. I left that behind though. Not interested. This was cool. This is actually made in Spain. It's aluminum. It's really scratched up though a lot. It was $1.98 and you can hardly see it, but it does say made in Spain and or it just says Spain. It's like an olive dish. I looked it up and I did find some similar ones. They're kind of all over the place price wise, so I didn't buy that. Then I was admiring some of the candlesticks because certain times of the year, like the holidays, people are looking for candlesticks. And these I didn't care for that much, but I did on another shelf, which I didn't film, but I'll show you pictures of. I did find these Mikasa tiny ones. They're small ones. They're vintage, like I think 90s or 80s, and very cute. They were like 248 for the pair, so I did pick them up. In looking at sold comps, I found one pair that sold for 16 and another for 10. I've got mine up for like 13 or 14. I know it was a waste. I shouldn't have done it. Then I went over to the florist vases, which I love looking at because there's always something unusual or the weird thing. This was kind of weird. It stood out to me from all the sea of florist vases. Those are 3D deer prancing, I guess, around this giant vase. I initially thought it could be like a light fixture because it's that kind of thing. And it weighs, well, 8 pounds. There was no price on it. So I had to go to the back room where a nice lady gave me a price, which I'll show you shortly. But it kind of inspired the weird in me. And all of the scratches, I was able to wipe everything down. It looks great now. It's beautiful. And then I got it home. Look at that. It is gorgeous. I was I was kind of like taken aback by it because it's unique. It is kind of weird. It is heavy, as I said, 8 pounds. But when I looked at it underneath, there is a name brand called Dolby Cashier, which I wasn't sure about, but it's a Chicago brand that started in 1978. And they mostly are known for their brass. This is obviously glass, and it was only $6.98. Yes, that's what they charged me for it. And when I looked it up online, I found a lilac one selling for $295. I found one on WorthPoint, but I don't have a subscription to it. So if you do and you see it, please let me know what this one sold for. I'd love to know.
When I first saw the vase, I thought, oh, that's weird. Like I gravitated towards it. Now I think it's more unique and I think I could sell that. I like it enough where I think someone would buy that for their holiday tablescape with the deer running over it. I love it. Now I'm going to show you some of the weird things. Some of them are weird. Some of them were found in weird places. I think other ways we can describe these weird items, they could be odd, unique, interesting, and one of them is probably clearly troubling or creepy, depending on how you look at it. Enjoy.
This little ghoul I found at a yard sale for $10. The battery did not work, or the body didn't work fully. It did make the sounds, but it's supposed to pop up out of the ground or your porch. I did end up selling it for $80 though. God, it's hideous. I just don't like it. This is a box, an empty box. Not just one, but I have two empty boxes. This is interesting, unusual stuff. I sold the Apple one for 15 and this cigar box for 14. Crazy. Now this is unusual for where I found them. They're nice shoes, Kate Spades, but I found them in a bag next to a dumpster. I should have taken the whole bag of shoes, but I didn't. I chose these and I sold them for $100. Yes, very good sale on those. And never sneer at a dumpster diver, even though I didn't dive in. It was next to it. This is something I found at a yard sale, and It turns out it's carved jade. Both sides were part of it, originally carved in the 18th or 19th century for a Chinese belt buckle. Then in the early 20th century, it was made into a snuff bottle. I bought it for $1 and I sold it for $2,118. Yes. Now, finally, this is the weirdest. My mother thought I had lost my mind. I came home from the thrift store with a vintage box of Kotex maxi pads that I bought for $5, and 2 weeks later, I sold them for 50.
That was super weird, right? And a little creepy too, I might add. What is the weirdest thing you've bought and resold? Please leave a comment below. I am dying to know. Thanks for watching Long Island Thrifter. If you enjoyed this video, I think you might like this one next. Keep on thrifting, especially the weird stuff.